The summer break is finally over, and as we enter the second half of the season, many F1 fans are wondering, will the rest of 2025 turn boring? Frankly, aside from McLaren, most fans aren't expecting much in terms of technical surprises. Most teams, including Red Bull, Ferrari, and even Mercedes, have already shifted development resources toward their 2026 cars. So, upgrades in the latter half of the year will likely just be minor tweaks specific to individual circuits or done by teams still fighting for standings in the Constructors' Championship. Let's take a deep dive into both on and off-track developments in the second half of the season. But before we start, if you love F1 and want more race-related content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. The biggest summer story has to be Cadillac. They finally announced their driver lineup, Sergio Perez and Valtteri Bottas. While not the most explosive duo on paper, it's a pairing full of strategic value. For Cadillac, who aim to quickly establish brand presence and break into the Latin American market, Sergio, a Mexican icon, is the perfect ambassador. He brings not just experience, but also a large Latin fan base that can immediately connect with Cadillac, amplifying their commercial value. As for Bottas, while he's no longer racing at the front and has been off the grid for a year, he proved during his Mercedes stint that he can help develop cars and provide consistent performance. At this foundational stage for Cadillac, what they need most is a veteran who's patient and willing to build from the ground up, and Bottas fits that bill perfectly from a technical support perspective. I'll go into a detailed analysis of Cadillac in a later video. In short, this lineup isn't about going for wins straight away. It's about laying a solid foundation. One driver brings marketing appeal, the other brings engineering support. It's not a fiery combo, but definitely a stable one. Heading into the second half, McLaren has rightfully established itself as the dominant force. Since the Austrian Grand Prix, they've shown clear superiority on all track types, be it high-speed straights, low-speed corners, street circuits, or traditional layouts. More importantly, their wins aren't lucky. They've simply outclassed everyone with raw pace. Take Silverstone and Spa, for example. McLaren handled unpredictable weather, red flag chaos, and strategy shifts, yet still crossed the line with a 10 to 20 second gap. The entire package, car, tactics, and driver execution, is near perfection. Meanwhile, Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes are all facing stalled upgrades and lack pace, even with new parts. If McLaren wins another 2 or 3 races and the second best team can't consistently reach the podium, they could clinch the Constructors' title as early as Austin. While not the earliest ever in F1 history, this would still be shocking considering they weren't even at full strength during the first half. What's more impressive is the team's internal harmony. Their upgrade pace is consistent, and their development direction hasn't wavered. Team principal Andrea Stella has built a machine that's unbothered by weather, red flags, or chaos, and in such a turbulent season that's not just praiseworthy, it could become the blueprint for the new F1 era. But more compelling than the Constructors' title is the Drivers' Championship within McLaren itself. While Lando Norris initially gained a slight lead due to his experience and consistency, Oscar Piastri has delivered near flawless performances, even showing outright dominance in some races. What's even more remarkable is that neither driver has made major mistakes, nor have there been signs of infighting. That's a credit to the team's management. However, with championship pressure mounting and 2026 contract talks looming, how long can this peace last? That'll depend on both drivers' mental strength and McLaren's internal strategy. If the championship goes down to the final race in Abu Dhabi, it could become one of the greatest duels in F1 history, reminiscent of the 2021 showdown between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. McLaren's success is not just about driver pace. Their car is virtually flawless in every area: floor design, suspension, aero control. Unlike Red Bull, McLaren doesn't overly rely on ground effect. Instead, they focus on handling stability and aerodynamic balance, especially excelling in high-speed corners. Some analysts believe their new front suspension upgrade introduced in Belgium has greatly improved steering feel without compromising tire life. Add in a revised rear floor, and the car no longer oversteers, brakes well, and hugs corners tightly. Strategy-wise, the team rarely makes mistakes. They nail undercuts, overcuts, and react swiftly to safety cars. By contrast, Red Bull's performance is inconsistent. Max may win occasionally, but he no longer dominates. Ferrari shines on certain tracks but lacks consistency. Mercedes is still in transition. with neither driver consistently in the top 5. Only McLaren has achieved no weak links, strong upgrades, and a positive atmosphere. Their feedback loop from design to engineering to drivers forms a rare, virtuous cycle in modern F1. That's why I trust their car, but the bigger question is, how will they manage the driver balance in the second half? If both are fighting for position, who gets pit priority under a safety car? Will there be favoritism? Will team orders come into play if one driver has a clear pace advantage? These could become the most pivotal and dramatic moments of the season. Mercedes has undergone massive changes in recent years, from 2021 champions to struggling under the new 2022 Aero rules, then showing a glimpse of pace again in 2025. But despite this uptick, questions still loom about their future. Chief among them, will George Russell re-sign? Since joining Mercedes, George has been seen as the heir to Hamilton's throne. He's consistent, technically insightful, and one of the few young drivers to challenge Lewis directly. Yet it's already mid-season, the summer break is over, and George still hasn't re-signed. That's a surprise. Although he's publicly said it's just a matter of time, that optimistic phrase might hide deeper concerns. First, he might not just be asking for salary or contract length, but for greater power, perhaps formal status as team leader, more say in development direction, or a shift in engineering priorities. With Hamilton gone, there's a power vacuum at Mercedes, and George may want to fill it, but won't sign until that's confirmed. Second, even if he's loyal to Mercedes, he may be keeping other options open. Red Bull's turmoil continues, and there are rumors he's spoken to Aston Martin. Both teams might have openings soon. For a driver in his prime, waiting a few months to assess the market is very reasonable. Finally, Kimi Antonelli's performance is another consideration. Though they get along well, resource allocation, engineer preference, and development priority will all affect George's competitiveness in the next few years. If he senses that Mercedes sees Kimi as their future main driver, he'll have to reconsider his place. In summary, if George delays signing until season's end, it signals he still has doubts about Mercedes, be it technically, culturally, or strategically. This next contract isn't just a deal, it could determine his next 3-5 years. Will he wait for Red Bull or Aston Martin, or has he already agreed with Mercedes and is waiting for the right moment to announce? For Mercedes, re-signing George is key to stability and experience, but they'll also need to balance Kimi's rise. If the two drivers become direct rivals, will that be a blessing or a curse? George's contract saga could be one of F1's hottest topics in the coming months. Even if the constructors' title seems settled, F1 isn't only about winning, and the second half still has plenty of turning points. From home race vibes to tech upgrade trials, even a single race can change a team's outlook. First up, the Dutch Grand Prix, Max Verstappen's home race. Every year, the Sea of Orange makes it one of the most electric weekends. Even though Red Bull has dipped in form, this remains a marquee event. Rumor has it the Dutch GP might be dropped after 2026, so Max's fans should savor this possible final homecoming. Even without a win, this could be a key moment for Red Bull to bounce back. Then there's Monza, the fastest, most passionate venue on the calendar. It's Ferrari's spiritual home and a pressure cooker of politics, tech tests, and fan expectations. Ferrari's 2025 form has been decent, not terrible, but still far from McLaren. Monza often turns into a heartbreaker. Last year, Charles Leclerc's win was already a miracle. Leclerc remains a national hero in Italy, but that status also brings crushing pressure. If anything goes wrong, from qualifying mistakes to strategy blunders, the backlash from fans and media is instant. And this year, Lewis Hamilton makes his first Monza appearance as a Ferrari driver. Not only must he adapt to the team's culture, but he's also entering the lion's den of Italian racing. This race is critical, and while Lewis has plenty of experience, Monza's intensity is on another level. Hopefully, he can channel that pressure into a miracle performance. And finally, there's Abu Dhabi. If Norris and Piastri are still neck and neck, the final round will be electric. We may see the next-gen stars tested under peak pressure. With the 2026 silly season looming, Abu Dhabi might also be the final outing for several drivers. All in all, the second half promises drama both on and off the track. While the team battle may already be decided, the fight for the driver's crown is far from over. Off-track stories like Cadillac's arrival and George's contract situation add even more spice. So, what do you think? Who's your pick for the 2025 champion? Will McLaren avoid internal conflict? Can Ferrari or Red Bull snatch a home win? Drop a comment below with your thoughts, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video!